Did you know that over 4,000 years ago the sun was not just a star, but a god named Ra who ruled over ancient Egypt? This radiant deity of the sun ascended to prominence during the 5th dynasty around the 25th and 24th centuries BC. Ra wasn't just any god, he was one of the most significant gods in ancient Egyptian religion, ruling over the sky, earth, and even the underworld. His divine sphere of influence primarily revolved around the noonday sun, the apex of the day when the sun's power is at its peak. Depictions of Ra often portray him as a falcon, sharing characteristics with Horus, the sky god. Together they created a powerful image of divine authority and celestial power. As Ra's influence grew, his form began to change and merge with other deities, creating a complex tapestry of divine representation. This was just the beginning of Ra's fascinating journey in the realm of gods and men. From a falcon-headed man to a beetle-headed deity, Ra's forms were as varied as the sun's rays. This diversity in depiction didn't simply stem from artistic creativity, but held profound symbolic significance, deeply rooted in ancient Egyptian culture and mythology. Let's start with Ra-Horakhty. This form represented a fusion of Ra, the midday sun, with Horus, the sky god often depicted as a falcon. The merging of these two powerful deities symbolized the encompassing might of the sun, dominating both the sky and the earth during the day. Then there's Amun-Ra. This was a result of Ra combining with Amun, a deity who rose to prominence during Egypt's New Kingdom period. The fusion of these two gods wasn't just a divine merger, but a political one as well, reflecting the growing power and influence of Thebes where Amun was worshipped. Now let's turn our attention to Khepri, the beetle-headed form of Ra. Khepri represented the morning aspect of Ra, the sun at dawn, symbolized by the scarab beetle that rolls the sun across the sky. This form of Ra was a symbol of creation, rebirth, and the eternal cycle of the sun. Ra's chief cultic center was in Heliopolis, a city of the sun. Here, Ra was identified with the local sun god Atum, further expanding his divine portfolio. The pharaohs considered the sons of Ra, revered him as the first king of Egypt, reinforcing Ra's status as a god of kings and the order. So, whether depicted as a man with a falcon's head, a man with the head of a beetle, or a man with the head of a ram, each form of Ra held unique significance, representing different aspects of this multifaceted deity. These myriad forms of Ra were not just artistic representations but served as a testament to his vast influence in ancient Egyptian religion and society. Ra's many forms reflected his vast influence, but as time marched on, changes were inevitable. As the sun sets, so too did the worship of Ra begin to dim. The golden age of Ra's dominance was not to last forever. With the rise of Christianity in the Roman Empire, the sun god's worship began to decline. During the Middle Kingdom, Ra's influence started to merge with other chief deities, particularly Amun and Osiris. This affiliation signaled a shift in the religious landscape of Egypt. The sun god was no longer standing alone at the pinnacle of the pantheon. Ra was no longer just Ra but became Amun-Ra, a fusion of the sun god and the king of the gods, Amun. As we journey into the New Kingdom, Ra's worship became increasingly complex and elaborate. Detailed texts found in tombs began to depict Ra's nightly voyage through the underworld, a dangerous journey filled with monstrous serpents and deceptive paths. This journey, though fraught with peril, was vital for the rebirth of the sun each morning. It was a story of struggle and triumph, mirroring the human experience of hardship and eventual success. But as the centuries rolled on, the times changed. The Roman Empire, with its adoption of Christianity, brought about the decline and eventual end of Ra's worship. The sun god, once the ruler of the sky, earth and underworld, was slowly replaced by the symbol of the cross. The temples of Ra were abandoned, the hymns to the sun god silenced, and the rituals ceased. Yet it's important to remember that while his worship may have ended, Ra's legacy endures. His influence shaped centuries of Egyptian culture and religion. His stories, his many forms, and his journey through the underworld remain etched in the annals of history. And every day as the sun rises and sets, we're reminded of the ancient sun god and his eternal voyage across the sky. Though Ra's worship has ended, his legacy continues to shine brightly in the annals of history. From a revered sun god to a historical figure, Ra's journey is as fascinating as it is enlightening. We've explored his ascension to the zenith of Egyptian worship, his multifaceted depictions, and his eventual decline. Ra, a god of many forms, from a falcon to a ram, was once the heart of Egyptian belief, ruling the sky, earth, and underworld. Yet, with the rise of new religions, his worship faded into antiquity. So, the next time you gaze upon the sun, remember Ra, the ancient god who once ruled the skies of Egypt.